In this video, I'm going to show you how to quarantine yourself from your car payments for the next 3 months with my 3 tips coming up next. Hey, I hope you're safe. This is David Bertoncini. I am coming to you from St. Petersburg, Florida. I'm walking through my parking garage, which is loaded with lots of expensive vehicles. I would say any car that's 5 years or newer is going to have a car payment on it. Or excuse me, not any car, but half the cars that are 5 years or newer most likely do have a car payment on it. So I'm looking at Porsches, Mercedes, Lexus, Toyotas, Jaguars, Acuras, Nissans, Cadillacs, Teslas. I'm looking at all these vehicles, and most likely half of these cars I just named off have a car payment on them. So this video, if you have a car payment, this is for you. If you don't have a car payment, share this with somebody that does have a car payment. This could be an excellent tip of which will be very helpful and very useful for that person that may have a car payment. So here's a couple tips for you. Number 1, call your lender. Call Ford, call Nissan, call your credit union, call your bank, call the finance company. Whoever financed the vehicle for you, give them a call and say, hey, listen, I'm just one of the 3.5 million Americans this week that lost their job. I'm looking to find out what kind of programs you have available for those people that just lost their job due to the coronavirus. And sit there, wait patiently and see what they have to say. They may spew out a bunch of different options that were better than what you were thinking, or at the moment they may not have any options. So I would ask them, say, hey, since you don't have any options and I'm pretty sure you would rather me make payments on this car, keep the car, because listen, the lenders do not want your car back. Trust me, they don't. It's the worst thing. Repossessions are not good for lenders. Unless you've got a lot of equity in it and they can make money when they take the vehicle to the auction, but usually they lose $3,000 or $4,000. So they don't want your car back. So ask them for some options, like, hey, what can you guys do for me? I just recently lost my job and I'd like to see if there's any programs that can help me out. Let them talk to you. If they don't have any programs, then you make suggestions. Here's the suggestion number 1 I would make. I'd ask for 6 months of no payments. If they can do that, fantastic. If they can't, if they can do 3 months of no payments, hey, I'll take the 3 months of no payments. If they can't do either one of those, just like if you had the car for 3 years, I'm gonna say, listen, I've been paying on this car for the last 3 years. Could we take the interest off of my loan and I can just make principal only payments? That could be an option for you. There's a lot of different things they can possibly do. I know a lot of companies out there like Honda are waiving like late fees. There's the Hyundai, however you want to pronounce it. I guess Hyundai would be the proper pronunciation, but Hyundai is doing, they had, a few years ago, they had the Hyundai Assurance Program. And the Hyundai Assurance Program basically said, if you lost your job, we will make 6 months of payments for you, which is nice. You may, now there's some people when you purchase your car, your finance and insurance department may have sold you a policy similar to that if you lost your job. I haven't seen those in a few years, but they may have sold you something like that. Anyhow, but lenders out there do have a lot of programs for you to help you out. So that's tip number 1. Call your lender, ask them for help. Because if you don't speak up, they won't help out. If you have a lease and you like the low payment, if it's like a really low payment, like $100-something a month or whatever you consider to be a low payment for that vehicle that's very affordable, ask them if they can extend it if your lease is about to expire. Or if you can't afford your lease payments and it's about to be done in maybe the next 3 months or something like that, if your lease is about to expire, then simply ask them like, hey, can I bring this vehicle back now? Because I really can't afford it and I don't want this to go against my credit in a negative way, because I'm just like the rest of America that lost their job. They may be happy to take the car back early, and the reason why is because it's coming back with lesser miles on it and no damage, and it's easier for them to sell the vehicle, and that's in that case. Tip number 2. Tip number 2 is ask to see if you can refinance the vehicle. Refinance the vehicle with your own lender. Call them up and say, hey, since you can't do anything for me, can I refinance the car? Find out what kind of equity situation you may have. You may have a lot of equity in your vehicle, and if you have a lot of equity, then simply ask them if this is a good time to refinance the vehicle. If it's not a good time, hopefully it should be a good time to refinance the vehicle, and they can help you out. If you have a lot of equity in your car, there's a couple ideas you could actually go with. Number 1, you could possibly decide to sell your car. You could sell your vehicle and actually take the equity, and you can either buy a cheap vehicle with it, or you can pay bills with it. And you know what I mean by buying a cheap vehicle? Maybe you're a family of, you guys are a 2-car family, and realize that now that one is not working, don't really need 2 cars, and moving forward, you know, maybe you guys can get away with just kind of going inexpensive and going down to a 1-car family and take that vehicle and sell it. That's probably one of the easiest options, is just to sell the vehicle, if you were in that position to be able to do that. So you can sell the vehicle. Tip number 3. Tip number 3 is there's a lot of dealers out there that have a lot of really good programs. Some of the programs that they have happening right now is, I know Ford's running a program right now that is no payments for 6 months, or they have 84 months at 0% interest, which is a really sweet deal. If you need to, or if you're thinking of purchasing a Ford, I know General Motors is running very similar programs to that. Every lender out there has every manufacturer has a really good deal, because right now things are really bad, they're awful, but businesses still has to roll on in order to kind of keep things afloat and keep America rolling. So you can trade in the vehicle. You can trade in for a lower payment. You could trade in for one of these plans that could defer your payments for several months. You could trade in for a car that's less expensive, maybe half of what you bought before. Maybe last time you bought yourself a $40,000 car, this time you get away with a $15,000 car. If you can do that and set yourself up in that position, and that you have equity in your car, do that. Because think about this, everyone gets very confused when it comes to car payments. Last time, if you financed $40,000 and this time you're financing $15,000, your payment will go down. It's not based upon like, well, I looked at I'm buying a Mercedes. The last time I bought a Mercedes, this time I'm buying a Toyota. But you bought yourself a $40,000 Toyota and you bought yourself a $40,000 Mercedes. It doesn't mean just simply because you bought a Toyota that your payment's going to go down. It's just math. It's not magical. It's just mathematical. You just got to finance less money. Bottom line is, if you finance less money, then you will save money. So those are a couple of ideas that you could do to save yourself on some payments right now, to quarantine yourself from car payments. Some really crazy hard times out there for America. It breaks my heart to see so many things happening. I'm looking at all these cars in my building. We've walked 4 floors of parking garage, and I've walked past millions of dollars of automotive inventory just sitting here that there's a lot of notes on. I'm confident. A lot of notes, a lot of loans on. So hopefully these tips have been helpful for you. You can use them we'll do a little recap. Number 1 is you could, like I said, call your bank and ask them for a lower payment, because that may be an option for you. If you can get a lower payment, that would probably help a lot. Number 2, you could do is possibly see if you can get your vehicle refinanced. If you get your vehicle refinanced, that is a good thing. That's my wife's 2019 Toyota 4Runner, which we do have a note on. So it is financed, and this is an option that I'm going to give you, that I'm going to actually practice myself. I'm going to ask my lenders, like, hey, now that all this has happened, what can you do? My bank so happens to be Navy Federal, so I'm going to call Navy Federal and see what programs they have to help me out with that vehicle. So number 1, call your lender. Number 2, see if mention that. See what type of equity position you have with the vehicle. See if you can refinance it. I know actually a couple of years ago we were financed with SunTrust Bank, and we took my 2013 Tundra a few years ago and refinanced it with Navy Federal. So sometimes there's some things that need to be done like that. And tip number 3, as I said, you could always trade the vehicle in. This could be some of the best programs available out there you've ever seen are on new cars right now, and you could trade the vehicle in and find yourself with a much lower payment than you currently have right now. So that could be an option for you. Trade the vehicle, take advantage of one of the new car financing programs, or simply trade in your vehicle. If you financed $40,000 last time, you need to finance like $15,000 this time in order to possibly get your payment cut in half, as long as you have equity or you are even in your vehicle. So keep those ideas and those tips in mind. Hopefully all this information has been useful for you and that you're safe. If this is the first time you've been on my channel, please like and subscribe. If you know somebody with a car payment, please share this with them. And hopefully this has all been of good help for you. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.